Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another exciting episode of You've Already Peaked Gaming Podcast, featuring your host, Locarthemanbeast, and also featuring me, the DjLobsterDust.
The DjLobsterDust.
Hey, how's it going?
It's good. How are you?
I'm sick.
Are you?
Yeah.
Everyone's getting sick right now.
Yeah.
It's impressive, dude. You said you wanted to get sick too.
Yeah, but it's not like the kind that you can like really call out from work from.
I mean, yes, you can. Isn't the whole that's the whole point. The whole point that we learned during COVID was when you're sick, just stay home. It's like
no, you can't. You can't.
I mean, you can. You just you
can't.
You need money.
If I call and I tell my boss, listen, I've got the fucking Tarkov flu. She's not gonna fucking understand, Trevor. You did this to me. I had removed myself from the situation a little bit, and I'm a fucking fiend now.
See, that's not my fault.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah.
If you had never
it was.
mentioned, this is the absence situation. If you had never mentioned it in the first place, we would have never been here.
I just thought it was something interesting to talk about. I looked into it briefly. That was months ago. That was fucking months ago.
It was longer than that. It was almost a year.
Yeah. Yeah. And you bring it up now and you're like, hey, Brad, look at this. And you fucked me. I'm a fucking junkie now.
It's bad, dude.
I've got timers on my phone for when I need to go log in to upgrade my fucking hideout. It's fucking terrible.
That's excessive. I'm playing it.
No, this is Tarkov.
I'm just playing it, man. You're on a whole nother level. This is not Tarkov. See,
this is what happens when you play Tarkov.
This is the insanity, Brad. Calm. It's a single player offline game. You can go on at any point in time. At any time. You're not behind a curve. You're not missing out. You're not doing anything that's going to hurt anybody.
Hideout needs to fucking upgrade.
It does, and that is the worst. That has been the worst. So I downloaded the newest patch, the 3.8. Got everything up and running. Beautiful, no problems. And you were right. As much as I had bitched and complained, you were right. The recoil almost makes it like a completely different game. Yeah. Alone. At first, when I played, I was like, recoil, I mean, it happens. If you've ever fired a gun before, it kicks. Like, if you're not, like, ready.
Okay, not like that.
I know, but, okay, certain guns don't. I mean,
name one gun where that first pop goes like this,
10
and then the longer you hold the trigger, the more control you get.
All right.
No, never.
That again, I understand that point. I understand that point because if you're not prepared, if you fire a gun, and like these are people that have been shooting, well, supposedly people have been shooting guns, so they should be aware of it. You should understand like your gun enough that like a recoil is good. Like even if you're fucking shooting an AR, you understand that like and most ARs don't have that much fucking kick on them.
No,
it's not like you're like boom, like you're fucking firing a blunderbuss. But there's enough of a kick that kind of like makes the gun move, and then you kind of settle back in, and you know how much like you've got the power to work with. I get that. And so I could understand it from the first point where it was like, maybe it's just like the whole aspect, but you are right. Like it was enough that like I had trained my brain to like pull down enough, or I was modding the weapons well enough that like I had a G36 that was just like, it was a laser pointer. Like the first pop would come up, but it wasn't bad. And then I could just, and it was like, okay, cool. I can work on that. Swapping to this though, I was like, my first initial, like the first shot I took while playing this, I had like the M4 or whatever the fuck, and I pulled my mouse down like in preparation for it, and I just fired at the floor. And I was like, oh, okay, I don't need that much recoil pull.
Yeah.
And it's like, It is night and day, like to the point where I was like, where fights felt like a struggle before. No, it's
Well, it used to be like almost Call of Duty, the recoil, and that's when people started complaining. They're like, if this is such a realistic game, so then they jumped, and then for like 8 wipes, 9 wipes, 10 wipes, the recoil changed into what it just was, what you were just playing with, and people are like, what the fuck did you do? And then it finally, like, they kind of brought it back. It's not like Call of Duty, but it's a lot more controllable, a lot more realistic.
So I played, what was it, Tarkov? Well, when I first started playing Tarkov, it was like 2018, like right before pandemic time. So whatever that was what I was most comfortable with. And then when I came back to Tarkov, I was like, oh, this is a different game. It's hard to play. I think I was more outside of just the recoil. I think I was most upset with the fact that I was like, I had made so much fucking progress in the other game. That's why I like started a whole new file when I downloaded the update, because I was like, I don't want to lose all that progress. I wanted to see so much shit. I didn't know how hard it was going to be to climb back up to where I was, because I was pretty fucking far, man. I was pretty far. And then as I started playing, it was like, even if I wanted to go back to like my old progression, I don't think that it's worth it at this point. Like all the different changes, vaulting is not, it's good, but it's not great.
It's good when you're sitting there fucking jumping against a fence and you're like, come on. You guys just
stamina bar, just do it.
Yeah.
Like, God damn it, I'm walking around.
Yeah, just that alone.
Yeah, I agree to that. I agree to that.
Like the tactical vaulting where they're like chasing somebody. It's like, no, but when you get stuck on like a little fence or something stupid like that, and you could just, that's worth it.
Yeah. I think I want to turn off auto vaulting and put it on like a different button or something, because that's kind of ridiculous. Sometimes I just want to jump on top of things and my guy will just vault over it. It's like, okay. Interesting. It's an interesting new thing, and I'm enjoying the update itself. And if this is what it is for current live, I can understand why it's so welcome by so many people. I am watching the live version. People are not happy.
No. It was like when it first came out, I was one of them. I was like, oh my God, this is the best wipe that's ever happened to Tarkov. And everybody's like, this is the best wipe. It doesn't change how bad like everything else got though. Yeah. Like the cheaters are just getting worse. Like everything's getting worse. And it's like, I know a lot of it's kind of out of their hands. Like,
okay. I think we talked about it before. It's not that it's out of their hands. It's that if you can't get to a position where you can fix it, then you have to implement something different. You have to do something. What's that like? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. Like if it's not working, change. But I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to spend any time or investment. Like, I mean, it's the way that it is, but it's also the way that online games are. Every fucking online game is just plagued with fucking cheaters. It just doesn't make sense to me. It's still just, my brain gets rattled so constantly by trying to think about this. At what point is there a situation where every fucking game has a cheater, like some way to do hacks and cheats and shit like that, and every single game has no way to defend against it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it's just like some games. It's not like it's like, oh, well, only the most popular. Every time you get into an online game, there is some fucking form of cheating. And it's just like, why? I mean, I get the why. I understand the why. I'm just more the why of why hasn't it been fixed? Why is it that after so many years of us doing this, that it's the same situation?
I almost feel like it's Pandora's box, you know? Mm-hmm. Like it's out and you can't put it back in. Like, we've talked about like AI learning from cheats to figure out how to ban cheats, but then they use AI to learn against the anti-cheat so that it can upgrade. It's like, I don't I don't know. I don't know that we'll ever. I don't know. I just don't know.
It feels bad because it's like it's watching a train wreck in motion, but it's like this is the death of the online shooters. To a degree, you know what I mean? Like there's certain games out there that you're gonna have maybe better quality of anti-cheat. Like even Valve's system, like Counter-Strike 2 is really like not. It has its cheaters and it's not a great anti-cheat system, but the thing that it has is that if you get caught cheating, you get a VAC ban on your account, which can ruin you for all other Steam games. You know what I mean? Like there's so much so constantly that if you have a VAC ban on your account, you're pretty much screwed. And I think it kind of goes hand in hand with like free games, because then you could just make a new account. But if you had to pay for a game and you get a VAC ban, that's a whole nother system. Like DayZ has this thing where their TOS is like if you've been banned in other things, or like if Bohemia has like banned you or whatever, and you try and join other like servers and stuff like that, and someone reports you as like a cheater or some shit like that, the mods and the people that run the DayZ servers will just kick you out. And it's like, well, why? I wasn't doing anything. It doesn't matter. You have a ban on your account. We're like not even going to attempt playing with this, and they just boot you from servers. And it's like a constant thing. And it's like that's cool because it's community run. The people that run those servers are community people. They're not part of Bohemia or whatever, and so they just take it into their own. It's like, sorry, you broke TOS. You have a ban on your account. Like goodbye. Like and they will. There's a guy that I watch on YouTube. God, I can't remember his name. But he's just a mod for a bunch of different servers. And what he does is he just floats around. Like people will report in the Discord, like, hey, I got a cheater. This is this guy's name. And he'll make videos of him following this person around to just see if he is a legitimate cheater. Because that's what he do. He just goes invisible, flies around, sees him, and he's like, you know, he'll try and like provoke him while he's invisible, where you can't see him. So like you'll see like the guy running and then like turn and like shoot at a bush that he's in. He's like, okay, well obviously he's a cheater. I'm invisible. Like how would he see me? Yeah. And then like always the cheater's like, no man, you were in the bush. He's like, yeah, I know I was in the bush. I was invisible. You couldn't have seen me. I'm a mod. Sorry, bye. You know, and it's like really fun to watch that. Like, yeah. So when it's put back in the community hands, it's super dope. And that's what I think, like games like Rust, DayZ, I mean, anything that you have to buy a server for and then is run by a community is going to have less cheats, less hacking, stuff like that, because all it needs is just one person to report to the Discord, like, hey, this guy's fucking around, and they'll just boot him out, and then you're good to go. You know, and that's amazing. That's cool to see. But when it gets to the online portion where it's run by the companies and the servers, it's like every Overwatch, Battlefield, Call of Duty. I'm watching a bunch of Rebirth Island stuff right now because it just came back. Yeah. Like the subreddit is like, am I just trash or is this guy cheating? Every other post. Boop, 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 boop. Am I trash or is this guy cheating? And then you watch these people. And first off, you're like, damn, dude, the amount of sweat that comes from Call of Duty is gross. So annoying. So annoying. Like oh man, I don't know if it's just because I'm old. I liked old Call of Duty where it was like peak corners, hold points, shit like that. Everything with the slide canceling, a hot bullshit, flashbang. You watch the guy on like, have you ever seen the dude from Warzone who like, he like dresses up like a wizard and then takes like flashbangs? It's like magic missile, lightning bolt. Like that shit's fucking annoying. If I got killed by that dude, I'd be like, I'm done. I don't want to play this fucking game.
Sorry, what? That annoys you?
Yeah.
If you died to that, interesting.
What?
Do you remember the Call of Duty that had the one-man army?
Yeah.
Do you remember when I said I was going to 1v1 you and you one-man armied the entire match just so you could not run out of flashbangs and I couldn't see for 5 straight minutes and you won with just 1 kill?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah, it's bullshit.
If that happened to me, I'd be so annoyed. Oh god, I would quit that game.
Okay.
Fuck you. You're that same piece of fucking shit.
Memeing between two people is a different scenario than running into that every fucking match that you play.
No, fuck you. I'll never forget that fucking shit.
Oh Christ. Yeah, it was
Fucking
bad.
piece of shit. I'm glad it came back to get you finally.
Yeah, seriously. I don't know, man.
I didn't have a problem with Call of Duty, like the slide canceling.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was right after the bunny hop. Like I understood the bunny hop. It's like, oh, it like gives you a speed, kind of slows you down, makes it hard. But like after that, when like my algorithm is giving me advanced movement tutorials on how you're supposed to slide cancel, bunny hop, drop a level, bring up a level, and then left, right, like that shit. No, that's why I don't play Fortnite, because I can't build a fucking penthouse suite in front of me. Like I'm fucking nah. That's where you lost me.
See, that's what I've realized is that Fortnite is the progress. This is why Fortnite will always be the worst of the worst, man. No matter what,
I said his trigger word.
I don't give a shit what anybody says. Fuck Fortnite, because that's what bred it, man. The people that and building shit, and it's like, what in the fuck? Like, I'm just like, I watched a video where this kid was
you
like,
watch their screen, they're
yeah. And like I watched this guy, he's like, oh, I see a guy, I'm gonna take a shot, and like takes a shot, and then you just watch him go and build this fucking tower, and the guy was like, he's like looking up, and then he's just like, all right, fuck it, and just leaves. And I was like, that's my whole perspective. Well, I think Fortnite was for the younger generation. That's like kind of got them into it. It was a free to play game, it was really easy, and then it just started like progressing from there. Well, I think those younger generation kids have now swapped over to other games, and we're starting to see a lot of that, and it's cool because this is the peaked moment of realizing that sometimes reflexes, hand-eye coordination, shit like that is just going to be better with younger kids. This was the whole idea behind this channel's name, was that at a certain point you do just peak and you just don't get any better, and then the younger generation are always going to the new technology and the new things that work, like they're just always going to end up getting better. And then when you play against those kids, it's like, god damn, dude, I am out of touch with reality at this point. But it is just infected. But I also believe those are the fuckheads too that are also using the cheats, because they're not as good as their counterparts, and they have to try and be.
They've got that easily manipulated mind that's just like, well, this will just like, and I'll only use it for this, you know. Yeah.
Oh, it's Lord of the Flies.
Susceptible
man.
To that fuck. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
piggy.
You just, I mean, how easily kids are coerced into things anyway. And then if you're running with 2 or 3 friends that are like, you got to get better, or you have to, if you want to play with us, you're going to have to do something. I can easily see a kid just being like, okay, well, I'll just download a cheat. You know what I mean? And then that becomes a thing. Then, because there's no real repercussion, because anti-cheats don't work, and if your account gets banned, just start a new fucking account or whatever. Those kids never learn a lesson.
Yeah. Well, that's when you said, like, you got to get better. That reminded me. You remember the Wiggle video?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking Goat Moth.
Mm-hmm.
One of his buddies that he streamed with and played with all the time, he caught him cheating.
And
it was kind of like the same thing. Like he didn't use like aimbot or anything like that, but he had like ESP, and there was just like one thing that triggered it, and he's like, oh my god, he might be cheating. And then, so he had one of the cheaters that he was doing interviews with, like, look at him, and he kept, like, checking him in raid and stuff, and he's like, oh, yeah, he's definitely cheating. And then he confronted him, and he's like, yeah, man, it's just, like, you guys were kind of, like, always, like, better than me and stuff, so, like, I just did this so I could play with you, you know? Like, that kind of shit.
It's
like,
so shitty.
It doesn't come from a malicious place, but, like, it's such a slippery slope, and then it's like, I can't.
I mean, that's... I get that too. You are right. It is a slippery slope. And you're right. Sometimes, okay, like perfect example like this. Single player Tarkov is the best experience for you to learn the game and to get better.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Without being hindered by the online community that are already fucking chads that have been playing this game for going on 10 years now, or close to it. You know what I mean? Like there's an idea there of needing to find a way to bridge that gap. And how do you do it? You know? And so when you look at it, it's like, there are certain things that make sense with cheats, you know, like back in the day when we were kids and you played certain things, Doom, Duke Nukem, like there were unlimited ammo cheats, invincibility cheats. You know what I mean? We put in those things when we were younger to play the game. You know, and there it wasn't, we weren't playing against other people, so we were only hindering ourselves, not other people, but it was something that was available.
Yeah, but there was some fun to it.
Yes, there was some fun. And I think, but because that existed, I don't think, and there was no ramifications for it.
Yeah.
No one told us we couldn't do it. No one said not. I mean, hell, we're a generation that grew up on Game Genie.
I was gonna say Game Genie, Game Shark. The books
that you would buy, those long skinny books that you just had with all the codes and everything in it. We grew up on a generation of cheating.
Yeah.
But it was all for us. We cheated ourselves, not cheated other people.
Yeah. Fuckers.
And I'll still cheat myself to this day. Are you kidding me? If I have I cheating to a degree, but like making things easier for myself, I will do it constantly. I did it during Baldur's Gate. I got stuck in a battle that I just could not beat. I could not beat it. I was just struggling for multiple ways, no matter what I did, no matter what I tried, different gear, different loadouts, different things. I probably ran that fight 20 times until I finally turned the game down to easy. And then I was able to beat it. And then I was like, you know what I mean? I was happy. And I was able to go back through and enjoy the rest of the game. And I don't think I turned it back up to harder difficulty and then was like losing again and then turned it back down. And I don't think my first playthrough, I took it off of easy mode after that point. And I played the remainder of the game through easy mode. And I enjoyed every moment. I cheated myself the experience of trying or having something hard and difficult.
Okay. Yes. I understand what you're saying. But you also like nailed the point. It was much more enjoyable. I had a 2.5 hour fight that led to nothing, to have me restart. And you said, like, I turned down to easy. That game was so much, for me, so much better because I could enjoy it. I could enjoy the storyline. I didn't have to fucking like almost manipulate how I went into situations just so I'd be more prepared if anything ever happened.
Sure.
Same thing, kind of Tarkov.
Sure.
With this, being able to turn it down, it's getting to the point now that like the PMCs and stuff, because we're like, they are leveling. Like I'm not, when I first had it and I had everything like a step down and a step down, I was like, this feels cheap. This is like, I'm just steamrolling everybody. Now it's not so much. I'm still getting rolled every now and then. Oof. And I felt guilty at first for kind of dumbing it down. It's so much more enjoyable.
I want this whole conversation to be realized right now between the two of us. This is the slippery slope that we're talking about.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the
if you could just see where they are in the map, like you're not really doing anything. It's just easy. It's more enjoyable.
Oh my God. That was the slippery slope right there.
Just download one little thing.
And see, that's that whole point. It's more enjoyable. If I'm losing in an online game consistently, every match dead within the first couple minutes, every moment losing my kit, my loadout, every moment like watching my friends play while I'm dead because I'm just in spectator mode. How much enjoyment are you getting out of it? And if it's,
we doing it then?
So we doing cheats?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, I am gladly open. I'm gladly open to get my Call of Duty account banned. I don't give a fuck about that. I don't give a fuck about that. I will download every cheat possible. I'll download the one where you just fire into the sky and everybody dies. You know what I mean?
Oh man.
Because Who gives a shit at that point? I just want to ruin everybody else's day, right? I'll
Those
do it.
videos viscerally piss me off. Like every now and then, like on TikTok, you'll just scroll and there'll be like a live, and there's a decent amount of like people. They're just like, I'm selling cheats. Look at what they can do, and like it's just a live stream of them doing that. Oh my god, I can't tell you the last time I commented on anything,
Sure.
except for like maybe like our videos or something like that. I'm in the live comments like, you're a fucking piece of shit. Like I'm like attacking. This person has my full attention. I'm ignoring everything around me, and for 10 minutes I'm just telling them they're a piece of shit and to go jump off a fucking bridge.
Yeah. And here's the next thing about it too, is like, so those cheats are like rampant everywhere. Cheat makers will never stop because it is fucking profitable.
Yeah.
They make buku dollars over just being like, yeah, here's a cheat, buy it. And people will even share the cheats, and then they'll still buy the cheats. You know what I mean? There's a guy that was making money off of selling fake cheats in PUBG, where if you downloaded and installed the cheat, like it would do crazy things. Like if your car got over 40 miles an hour, it would auto jump you out of the vehicle. If you went to throw a grenade, it would just drop it at your feet. Like, you know what I mean? Like as it left your hand, it would just drop at your feet. So you'd be looking for the grenade and then the guy would just blow up. Or there was things where like every time that you fired at a person, it would drop the mag. So it was just like, and it was just like your mag would drop out. Like it was shit like that. That guy was like, I did it to kind of like fuck with people because fuck them for using cheats. No one questioned. Everybody's like, oh, I think your cheat's broken. He's like, oh, I just got an update. Buy another one. And he was like, I made so much money off of selling fake cheats to people.
Oh my god.
And that's another wild scenario too. But because it's such a profitable market, that's why like the Chinese government like started implementing like actual like real crimes against cheaters and shit like that. Like they qualified it under like hacking and stuff, like, you know, whatever it came out to.
Yeah.
But, oh my god. I also feel like it's all we talk about is cheaters. I don't know why. I don't know why I'm so fixated on it. I think it's because I love games and I hate dealing with it.
Well, it's yeah. And it's like for people like us who love games, it's literally like we're watching the end of like what we love.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the like, and it like it's another you've already peaked moment, but like at our peak, like there weren't cheaters. And if there were, they're very far and few in between.
Yeah.
And it was just like a different kind of gaming. And it's like that's gone by the wayside.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a big one about it, is that when we think of video games, the concept of a video game is not what it was, hell, 10 years ago, let alone like 20 years ago. Also, when you say 20 years ago, I keep thinking like 80s. That was
no, I know.
I was like freshman year in high school. Oh God, that's kind of gross. But 20 years ago, it's so gross, dude. Oh.
2 years away from my 20th high school reunion. Good God.
Yeah, if that doesn't tell you how old you are. I mean, I didn't go to my 10-year.
I didn't either. Now I kind of wish I would have.
I
had hair still. Yeah, I know, like one last hurrah.
No, I'm good on that. I remember getting a message from one of the girls that was putting it on or whatever. And it was like a huge chat thing in Facebook. And this girl I went to school with, Tara, it was fantastic. Tara was cool. I did martial arts with her. I kind of grew up with her or whatever. And then she was like part of the cheerleading squad and things like that. And I was like, she never really became one of the like the preppy girls or whatever, but she was someone who was involved with enough of those people that it was like, oh, you know, you'd think that they turned into it. And they put on this whole fucking thing. They're like, hey, we're gonna do the 10-year. This is where we're doing it at. We want to see everybody there. Make sure that you sign up, make sure you RSVP. And a bunch of people are like, yeah, happy to see you. And then a few people were like, nah, we're not really gonna go. And I remember Tara was one of the people that were like, well, why not, Tara? Like, we'd love to see you or whatever. And she said something I will never forget. She was like, anybody important in my life from high school, I either still talk to or still see. Why the fuck would I show up to deal with a bunch of people I never gave a shit about in high school? And I was like, yeah, get it, girl. Like, that's, yeah, that's exactly right. And like, I think I reached out to Floyd Fowler at that point, and I was like, are you gonna go? He's like, hell no. Are you? I was like, absolutely not. He's like, okay, cool. And that was it. That was the last discussion we had about it.
Yeah, because I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, why would I go? Who would I care to see? Even I'm thinking of the people that I went to school with in general that are actually still my friends that I still constantly see. I
want to see the bitchy girls that got fat. Or the ones that were like really pretty and like just see how like run down they've got, especially El Dorado County girls. You know what I mean? Like by the time I've seen a few of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
oh yeah, especially working at FLB.
Even for like the 10-year, you're like, oh shit, what the fuck happened? Like, thank God, like you had some bad karma coming. Like, just like the real like cunts.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like the people that were my friends in high school that I still have conversations with were either a year older than me or Trav. You know what I mean? Like of my grade, it's Colton Haas and Floyd Fowler. Those are the only two people that I even remotely have. I don't even talk to Floyd or Colton anymore, right? I never see them. So if we were to meet up and have a conversation, there'd be no ill will. There'd be no, like, it wouldn't be like we missed a step. We would immediately turn into whatever conversation we were having the last time I saw him. But outside of that, Sean is the only person I talked to from high school. And he was a grade older than me. And Trav's dead. So what am I going to high school for? Plus, I wasn't a high school kid. I was barely there.
Yeah.
Man. I was barely there.
I was talking to one of the MAs at work, and I was like, man, she asked me like about like where I went to like high school. I was like, dude, high school is so much fun. And I stopped. I was like, but let me get you like straight real quick. I was not like, high school were not my glory days. I'm just saying it was really fun. Like, like fucking around. You didn't have anything to do. You didn't have to work. I think it's just like the lack of responsibility. But I was like, but let me be clear. I wasn't dating like the super hot girls. I wasn't popular with the hot girls. I didn't fucking play football or anything like that. Like it wasn't like that. I'm just saying it was fun. She's like, okay. Let me be very clear.
People will still ask me like, oh, what do you remember most about high school? And I'm like, man, there's only pockets of memory of high school for me. Like there's freshman year is kind of a blur. Sophomore year for sure does not exist. Junior year is like kind of spicy. I kind of remember some shit. And then senior year, there's nothing there until
I woke up and I was 24.
That's exactly right. I went to high school and the next thing I knew I was working a job and I was 18. I got back from the UK and that's when my life started. There's so many gaps in high school. I mean, I did it to myself. I can't blame anybody but myself.
Yeah. And for what it's worth, all of those, like, Jesus Christ, I don't fucking remember. Like, I wouldn't take them back. It's like, do I remember them? No. Did I know I had fun? Yeah. It's like,
yeah. God.
Yeah, I know.
The fact that we went to Europe our senior year, and I was like the most coherent drunk out of everybody. It's like, that's gonna say something. Like, it's like everybody's like, why aren't you fucking?
You're that guy with a noose around his neck first time. And you're like just fucking pirate-eyed running through fucking Spain.
That was okay. So so we got out of Germany and we flew down from Germany into Madrid, Spain, and then took a bus from Madrid to Granada. Honestly, Granada, That's where I want to die. I want to retire. I want to die. I want to live in Granada for the remainder of my life. That place. Oh my God. It was so
Granada,
Granada, Spain, bro. Oh my God. I loved Granada. It was the best place I've ever been in my entire life.
I want you to know, like, you're picturing like Granada, Spain, and you're like chef's kissing it. Everybody else that's hearing that is thinking of anger management, where the guy jumps out. That's all I know about Granada. I have no fucking clue what you're talking about. You're like, I want to retire,
dude. It was so sick. It was like this old Gothic city where like streets were still like cobblestone and stuff like that. People were just super nice. Everybody was just like it was really like just beautiful and just quiet. It was so fucking cool. Anyway, so we take this bus from Madrid and we get into Granada, and Granada is like, it's by the time we get down to there, it's like a almost 10-hour drive on a bus. It's late. It's like nighttime late. And I remember, so we went with a couple of our teachers from high school, and the Sharons, right? They put this trip on every year. You know, if people wanted to pay money, they did this whole event, blah, blah, blah. We get into Granada, and Sharons are like, okay, everybody's got your rooms. Get up there. Stay in the hotel tonight. We'll go and explore Granada tomorrow. Like, we don't want you guys kind of dicking off. And I was like, okay, cool. So
we definitely won't. I promise you that.
We get up to the room. I'm 18 at this point, so I'm completely legal. My buddy Jared is with us. And Jared's like, I kind of want to get out. I want to go see if we can find some bud. I'm like, okay, cool. I want to go have a drink. So like we go downstairs, like where everybody's supposed to be in. And as we're like leaving, the dude, the receptionist at the front desk is like, hey. And like we turn and look, and he's like, come here. I'm like, fuck. And we like walk over, like, what's up? And he's like, the teachers or the people putting this like trip on said that they wanted to make sure that nobody left the hotel tonight. Like, you guys can't take off. And we're like, what the fuck, bro? We're 18. Like, we can do whatever we want. He's like, I know, but that's what we were told. So he reaches under the desk and he pulls out a city map, and he's like, so you're going to want to go here and you're going to want to go here. These are the two places. He picks up the phone, like says something in Spanish, and he goes, there'll be a car outside in about 10 minutes. Fuck yes, let's go, dude. So we head down to like the middle of the city, and it's like, it's pitch black. Like there's old, it looks like Hogwarts, bro. There's like old lantern street lights and stuff like that. Yeah. Like all these old Gothic cathedrals and shit. And you're just walking down, and like every 5 seconds, Jared's like going like, smoke. And people are like, no. Like that, we don't smoke in here. It's a bad thing. We'll get in a lot of trouble. Jared's like, God damn it. All right. So we're walking down the street, and there's this guy handing out flyers. And I'm like, okay, like what is this? And he's like, oh, there's a bar down an alley. Like, you should go and check it out. We're like, okay, cool. He's like, they play music and stuff. It's really cool. I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to go get a drink. So we head in, and it's like a metal bar, and they're playing like metal music from like America. And I'm like, yeah, let's rock out. Like, this is amazing. And we sit down, and we end up talking to a bunch of people, and everybody's like, oh, you're from America. It was just really cool. Like, everybody was just involved with us. We were having conversation, good drink. People were buying us drinks and shots. And I'm drinking, and I'm like, Jared, you want to drink? And he's like, I don't really drink, but I will. Like, I can't get any weed, so I might as well. It's like 2:30. And they're like, hey, we're going to start wrapping up. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. So we start closing out. We pay our tip and whatever. And I look over, and Jared is just fucking, it's like, oh, no, buddy. We got to go back to the hotel. I'm fine. So I call the hotel from the bar, and I'm like, can you get us a ride back? He's like, yeah, no problem. I'll call the taxi. They'll come and pick you up. So cool. Taxi swings by, picks us up, and he's like, is your buddy okay? I was like, no, he's not. But if I need to pay for your cleanup, I promise you I'll pay for the cleanup. The guy's like, all right. Get back to the hotel, and I'm full on burning like Jared. He's just like, he's barely even walking. I'm like, use your fucking legs, dude. Just put them one in front of the other. We got to get back to the hotel room. It's early, dude. And we're supposed to be up at like 6 a.m. to like do our first tour or whatever.
Yeah.
And like we get through the lobby, and Mr. Sharon is standing in front of us at the bottom of the stairs. And like, I walk up, and I like look at him, and he like looks at me, and he looks at Jared, and he's like, you guys have a good night? I was like, nah, it's okay. It was no big deal. I just walk past him up the stairs. I'm just dragging Jared up. And he's like, remember, wake up at 6 a.m. And I'm like, pound on the door because I'll probably be asleep. And that was the start of like the Granada trip. And like it was amazing. And it's like every point from there, we were like Granada, Barcelona, like Valencia, like I was just drunk the entire time. And the whole time everyone's just like, how are you able to consume as much alcohol and be functional? So because I hate myself and I've hated myself for years.
This makes perfect.
And that was when I was a kid. Imagine today.
I can't do it anymore today.
I was in Valencia, and there's a strip in Valencia that goes all the way down to like the ocean. And it's this huge promenade. It's amazing. Oh no, it was Barcelona. It was in Barcelona because the sex museum was in Barcelona. And I'm walking down the street and the crowd starts to like part. And I'm like, what's going on? Like there's someone walking up and the crowd's parting. And I'm like, oh, maybe it's somebody interesting or whatever. Like maybe it's, I don't know, fucking Spain royalty. Who knows? They're just parting. This guy tatted head to toe, bald, completely tatted out, piercings everywhere, is walking up the street, butt ass fucking naked. The biggest dick I've ever seen in my entire life. Bro, like scary big. Like I was like, oh my God. Like if he got hard, I'm sure the loss of blood to the brain would have made him pass out. Like we were talking about dick to thigh ratio or whatever the hell it was.
Yeah.
To his shins. And he had a fucking ball bearing piercing at the end of it. And I was just like, and he just walked by and I was like, and then everybody just came back together and started walking. I was like, what the fuck did I just see? Like, that is ingrained in my brain for the rest of my life.
Oh man.
That was terrible. It was terrifying. It was terrifying. Looked like an elephant trunk, bro. I was like, what the fuck? I mean, I get why he was naked. You can't put that in your pants.
Yeah.
Even a pair of shorts
with fucking 3 legs.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I was just scared. Like if you squat, you'd accidentally step on it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, some people just walk in the light.
Yeah, he was God's chosen for sure. I want to travel again. If I had the money, man. If I didn't have...
That's the thing. Back then, it's like, you could go. What responsibilities do you have? Now it's like, all right, I need to save up so that I have everything for at least a month to get me back on track.
Yeah.
X, Y, Z.
I mean, I put myself in a little bit of debt and sold a part of my soul to get out to Europe. And I was out there for like a month or something like that. And that was cool. I don't think I would do a month again. That was way too much.
Month's a lot.
A month was a lot. Between Germany, Spain, France, and the UK, that was just too much. By the time I came home, I was like, I don't know where the fuck I am. I just want to sleep for a week. But again, you're right. It was no responsibility. Like I had a job, but I was like, yeah, I'm going to Europe for a month. So I quit. There was no problems.
Yeah.
I came back and then kind of sat around for a couple months and then got a job at GameStop. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it was no big deal back then because I could get a job at minimum wage because that's all I needed.
Yeah.
So there's just no way to do that now. But that's what I'm saying. If I had a plethora of money, I talk a big game. I like being home. If I had a plethora of money, I'd probably not leave my house. But if I just was like, let's just take a trip. Let's just go. Let's go to Romania.
Yeah.
Let's just take off. Let's just go. I would love to do that. I still want to go to Japan.
Japan would be sick. A lot of those European countries start getting
Now.
close to like now. Yeah. Now. Back then it would have been cool. I was just talking to a guy, he's from Moldova, that worked at MDI, and like we were just talking. He's very like intellectual, so I'm trying to keep up with him. And he was like showing me, he's like, back in our day, like we didn't have like this grid pattern that's like, it's so confusing to me because the United States, everything's block by block, grid by grid. Like here, it's like we built around fountains and we built around like this. So everything has a very organic, and he's showing me like, I can't even think of the name, but like all these places, like in the Ukraine and stuff. He's like, I visited here. It's so cool. You should try there. I visited this place. I visited this place. I'm like, oh, this is sick. Oh, this is sick. And then like 3 months later, it's like Ukraine's invaded. Shit's getting bombed. It's like, God damn it.
Kiev was on my list of places I wanted to go and check out for the longest time. And I was like, yeah, man, that'll be
Odessa. That's what he was showing me.
Odessa. Yeah. Okay.
The big naval port that got raided.
Yeah, man. It's like, and like some places I feel like I still want to go and take a look at. And like, I want to go to Vietnam. Like a lot of people have just
Vietnam's
sick, dude. That or like the Philippines. You know what I mean?
Philippines is sick.
Where like
my girl shows me all the time,
bro. And like some of the people that I know that are out there, or even not, you know, just like I think Philippines is like a big one, but it's like you don't need a ton of money to do that.
No,
you take a grip.
The most expensive thing is the fucking trip there and back.
Exactly right. And so like you take a grip out there, you live like a king for like 2 weeks. Someone was telling me the last time they went to the Philippines, their entire trip for 2 weeks, they spent $500 at a hotel or something like that total for 2 weeks, $500. And it was like VIP premium, like top of the line penthouse suite. Like people were feeding you grapes and stuff as you wake up in the morning, like that type of thing. And it's like for $500, like get out of here. They were saying they were tipping money to people. Where at restaurants, you know how you normally eat, they were like, we didn't know any concept. So we pay for a meal and then we tip them like $5-10 or whatever off the meal. And they would come back to us and be like, that's too much money. You can't tip that. You need to tip less. And they're like, why? Like, just take it. Like, no, literally, like, you will screw us over. Like, we can't have that extra amount of money. Like, you have to tip less. Like, oh, okay. Like, weird stuff. Like, we're like, you hand someone $1 and they're like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. My girl, she was like, God, I really miss the Philippines. So I was like looking at like planning like a surprise trip. And like, I found like a resort and it was like all inclusive and blah, blah, blah. And I got fucked up one night. And I was like, I was thinking, blah, blah, it's going to be a surprise, but look at this. And I was like showing her like the itinerary. And she's, I think I was going to pay like $8,000 or something like that for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, what? She's like, we go there with like $600 each. And like, I don't know what they're charging for like this.
Yeah.
Like, all inclusive.
Yeah.
Like, but like food's cheap in the Philippines. Like you don't understand. Like you could eat good for an entire day for like $3.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. It's wild. And I mean, that's just a difference in economy and stuff like that. And that's where like countries like that strive off of tourism, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's like a big thing in like Mexico where, Mexico is a little expensive just because it's close to home, but so
they already know they can get us.
so much of Mexican real estate and properties and resorts out there are run by cartels. Like a lot of people are like, I don't know about the cartels. It's like, you're the safest person in the world at a resort in Mexico because the cartels are like, that's where we make all of our money. So if anything ever happened to someone at a resort, like the cartel would just destroy. Like when I was there, when we were in Mexico, this last run, you know, Cliff and we're, you know, walking around asking like, where can we get some of the stuff? And everyone who worked at the resort was like, nope, you can't talk to us. You can't talk to us. Find someone out on the beach, find someone outside of the resort, but you cannot talk to us about that. And we're like, why? And they're like, we will lose our jobs, but also because of that, there's a very strict policy about things. Like if we were to give you something here at a resort and something happened, like we are all in trouble. So like you need to just go someplace else for that. And we're like, okay, cool. It was some guy sitting on the beach. It was like, you ready for this? And the guy's like, yeah, okay, I got whatever you want. So it was like, cool. But like, there's that mentality as well. It's like whenever you go to a place that is a tourist resort that is outside the country, because all of the money is invested in those tourism, they treat everyone as perfect as possible. Like it's only the fuckheads that will rob you and shit like that. But it's not anything of like the
when we were in Mexico, I was overly paranoid. I was like, keep your stuff close, keep your blah, 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 blah. We gotta, okay, when we go out, like we're like at like an all-inclusive resort having breakfast, like when we go out, you gotta keep your stuff. And like the waiter that I accidentally tipped like $100 who was like following me around, like making sure I never wanted for anything. He like overheard and he's like, "No, you're safe." I was like, "No, I know, like here we're safe." He's like, "No. If someone were to rob you, the cartel would find them and cut their hand off.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's how it, like nobody will touch a tourist.
Yeah.
You're invincible here."
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind, guys, we're good.
It's wild. That's like Joe
Yeah.
Rogan was talking about. He was like walking down like a beach somewhere and got to the end where there was like a bunch of Humvees and like almost like tanks. And he's like, "Oh, are you here to protect us from the cartel?" And the guys were like, "No, we are the cartel." Like,
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
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 It's wild.
wild.
It is a wild scenario. It's a different mindset, but it's also so weird to see, like, it's kind of like the that like you can't trust everything that you read online or see in the news type of situation where like everybody will talk about how like negative and terrible it is, but then like you go over and take a look at things and it's like, oh, it's not really that bad.
Oh, okay, but as tourists, we're living with rose tinted glasses or
Sure.
whatever the fuck you want to
Sure.
call it. Like a perfect example, Mexico's great. We ran through Tijuana and nothing happened to us.
Yeah.
We sprinted, but at the same time, they were doing, so Taylor Sheridan, who did like the Sicario movies, like, and in Sicario, they're showing like bodies stuffed in the drywall. They're showing like the headless corpses
Yeah.
hung by their feet off the bridges. When he was making that movie, he asked like subject matter experts for like examples, and he's like, that was the most G-rated I could make it for like what I could put on film for what happens there. Like, like we are very privileged and lucky.
Very true. Very true.
To be part of like the buying economy that powers the horrible shit that happens there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I guess there also then turns like, you know, out of sight, out of mind for us. Because as long as it's not in my face, what do I care? I'm going there for a trip and a fun time.
Yeah.
It's the same. I mean, it's the same thing with us buying chocolate. Well, there's all the child slave labor in Africa that are making your chocolate. It's like, yeah, but I just want some chocolate. It was like, I'm not buying slave labor, but
I was thinking about slave labor and how many little hands put this together for me.
Oh yeah, all your shoes, all your clothes,
Everything.
everything that you own, all your food, every packaged item. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like terrible things. It's like it's tough to get around. It's okay to not support it, but like to also like be like, I'm not gonna buy anything. It's like, okay, well, so you're growing your own food then? You're slaughtering your own chickens? Like, I don't have space for that here in Sacramento.
Yeah.
It's tough. Although I will tell you, the cost of eggs, like I have been seriously considering buying and setting up my own chickens. Oh, swear to God. Swear to God.
Chickens.
Swear to God. Chickens are not terribly expensive to have.
They're not terribly expensive to upkeep.
Nope. I don't have like coyotes and foxes and stuff around. I don't got to worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sure I would be fine setting up a coop with like 2 or 3 chickens and have enough eggs to never buy from the store again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not only that, but like actual free range chicken eggs that you like.
So much better.
There is a quality difference that is outside of this world.
I distinctly remember my first time like living away from like my parents' house, like where we had chickens all growing up, and like getting eggs from a store. I'm like, man, they're white.
Yeah.
They're white. Like just like I thought it was like a cartoon thing, and you crack it open and it's like pale yellow. And you're like, what the fuck is this? And then you taste it and you're like, it just tastes fucking like watered down.
Yeah. That it's like 1% milk. That's what it tastes like.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You know, fat-free milk. It's like,
you're like,
something's
you can, like,
a little off.
like sift it through your teeth.
Yeah. It's like, it's a little
like,
weird.
Yeah.
But again, it's like convenience, you know, like mass produced hormoned eggs. And then you get the free range and you eat it and you're like, oh man, I get that.
Baby.
Well, and that's the thing about it too. When everybody's like on this like organic kick, like, oh, you got to get all your vegetables organic. Strawberry tastes like a strawberry. I know there's sometimes you get them that's like, oh, that was a really juicy organic homegrown strawberry. And it's like, yeah, I get that. But like
I'll punch someone in the fucking mouth for. Oh, this is the. Can you imagine like that one fucking asshole at the party? This is. And they want to make a. They want to make a point of like doing it in front of you so they can say it. You're like, just shut the fuck up. Like, I don't care how good it is.
Yeah, like I'm not. You know. I'm not losing much from eating a stick of celery that was grown in a ground versus grown with GMOs. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I'll be fine on that. There are certain things that like just will obviously taste better. You know what I mean? Or like meat. Meat is a weird thing where you don't really realize it, but like they say like grass-fed beef or whatever, but it's not necessarily that, but it's like happy beef, like cows that were raised on good nutrients and things like that. The meat has
that aren't stressed all the time.
The meat is way more.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean. You can taste the happiness and the suffering. Like that's what Sean used to say is like, you can taste the suffering, you know, in your meat. But it's like it really is. You can taste the difference in like quality of beef when it's, you know, able to range, it's happy, it runs around, does its thing. And I think that's an interesting point. But again, there's not enough acreage in the world for me to have 10 cattle to raise for fucking 20 years before I slaughter them. You know?
No, it's like a 2-year cycle.
Yeah, for mass production. You're talking about having
no.
You're talking about having a cattle for milk, cattle for meat, like 2 years.
So a steer, you castrate them when they're like
young,
6 months, 8 months, something like that, and then like that sweet spot where the meat doesn't, because they say like overdeveloped meat gets tougher.
Sure.
So like you neuter them, and then at like 2 years you send them to slaughter, and you just have like a rotating stock like that. And really, one cow, that's like 2 households for an entire year.
Oh yeah. You got to have a big enough freezer that will last. How much does a cow cost to buy?
A decent amount.
So every 2 years, a cow costs anywhere between $900 to $5,000.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the 900. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are we going to Montana? Are we just fucking homesteading? We gave up video games and we're homesteading.
As long as we can get some type of internet out there, I'd be fine with it.
Starlink.
Yeah.
Our dog fucking Musk. Sucking Clark. Let's go.
I would
homesteading and Cybertrucks. Let's fucking go.
I had this conversation a long time in high school that like I was like, by the time I was 30, if things hadn't changed in my life, I wanted to just move to like Scotland or Ireland and just have a farm.
Scotland's sick.
Dude, how sick would that be to just live in Scotland on like a bog marsh and like have like a farm and just like sell to the, it's just a barter system. You just go into the local.
Scotland would be tight, but goddamn, I don't know if I could do it. I love like the look, the aesthetics, the feel of Scotland. I can't understand a fucking thing they say.
Yeah, but I mean, I can't understand people from Boston when they speak either. Have you ever listened to someone from like Mississippi or like New Orleans?
Boston's like, okay, that's yes, that's right there.
You would learn being there long enough. You would learn, and you don't have to buy them a drink and nod. Most of the time, they're fine.
What if something like really important's happening? He's like talking to you. Like, I don't fucking know. I don't fucking. He's trying to tell you like fucking like Godzilla just fucking landed on shore. You need to run. You need to get your whole family. And he's trying to tell you passionately. And you're like, what in the fuck? You're trying to hand him a drink. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, it's like with me with some of my workers or whatever. When they talk to me, they talk so fast. I'm like, you have to slow down. If it's important, find someone to translate, because when you ramble at like Mach 10, I'm like, I caught every third word you said. Something about a rock, something about a house. I don't know what else you're talking about. Is anyone dead? No. Is anyone about to die? No. Okay, slow it the fuck down. Try again.
I just had this. So you're telling me that, and I'm picturing a Mexican dude like just fucking, and I don't know. And then to counteract that, you recite back Busta Rhymes' part and look at me now. And you just watch his face like I can see it, look at me.
I had this kid.
Every time you say you gotta go, you gotta get it.
I had this kid Maui. First off, his Spanish is trash anyway. Like, you know what I mean? Like he would talk and I'm like, that is not I know the word you're trying to say, but it's not. Like, I don't know if he was like a little too, because he was younger. I don't know if there's more slang invested in it, or but he mumbled a lot. So he mumbled in Spanish while like not speaking clearly enough, and rapid fire. And every time he would talk to me and I would look at him and be like, okay, slow it the fuck down. Try again. And then he would just pull out his phone and speak into his phone and then hand it to me. And like, even the phone would be like, I really need, I don't know what the fuck you said. This, that, and the other things. All right, let me figure it out for you, man. And he'd go, oh, okay, yeah, got it. And then he'd run off. And I was like, good fucking kid, man. Miss that kid.
You look around, the older Mexican's like,
yeah, my boss. I would ask my boss. He would just be rifling things at me, and I'd just look at Guillermo and be like, "What did he say?" He's like, "I don't fucking have any clue what just came out of his mouth." Like, all right, we try again. It's like, you know how like when you use translate on your phone, you can hit it once and it'll just say it, and then if you hit it again, it'll say it slower, just to like give you like the enunciation portion. That's every time he would just say it, and I'd be like, one more time, slower. How about you gonna slower? I was like, all right, I got that one. All right. And then it'd be like, oh, you just want to go to lunch. Just go. Like, what are you wasted 10 minutes of my time. Go. Get the fuck out of here.
Oh man. It's a good episode. We talked a lot about games. I think we spent a solid hour talking about homesteading and fucking honestly running away to other countries.
This is the way the podcast should be. I think we started this as a gaming podcast. I don't think that it should be a gaming podcast.
There's always gaming elements to it.
Yeah, because we play so much video games.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been recently. Well, one, because Tarkov has consumed my life.
I got 2 hours until I need to log in. And
that's nothing. That's nothing. It's nothing. I need to go to the bank is what I need to do.
I probably had a lot of stuff I was supposed to do today. All I did was set up a big failed green screen that I then had to tear down for this, and Tarkov. I started today at level 16. I'm level 23 now.
Oh yeah. I think I'm 14. Are you on the new
on the new one?
Yeah.
No. I'm
on the old one. Okay, so I'm on the new one. So
I'm telling you, I'm waiting. Oh, we'll wrap it up with games. I'm waiting for the quality of life features. Yeah, I'm waiting for the quality of life features that have dropped with the new update that just happened at Tarkov, and I can't imagine it'll be too hard to integrate them.
No, it's going to be forever. It's going to be forever. So apparently the 3.8 was the newest update for the last Tarkov. So I think they have to wait until the following patch before they can update it. I think there's something that just keeps them backed up. So like 3.8 came out. So this is what we're going to have until either the next wipe in Tarkov and another update, or they figure something else out. But so you're stuck in a position where updating now is actually probably the most.
So I'm biting the bullet. I'm starting from zero.
I said the same thing. I started I started my own. Well, I started a second file, and then I did 3.8 on there. But now that I'm playing 3.8, it's like I probably am not going to go back to the 3.7 update, because it's just not worth it. And the amount of, also, I want you to do it so you go play Ground Zero so you can understand what I'm talking about.
I'll butt fuck
you
Ground Zero.
You will not. You will not, and I cannot wait for you to not. It is like I know where everything was in Ground Zero. The density of bots and don't turn it down. Don't make it easier for yourself. Don't reduce the amount of bots in the lobby. Just play.
I'll go fucking high.
Go high. Leave it as is, and you will see the amount of like struggle bus that came out of Ground Zero. It's like because the map is so small, all the bots will congregate. There was a point where a door opened and I saw a bot come through.
Oh, probably because you have Sane, huh?
Yes, because I have seen.
Oh, I understand.
So now what's happening is like
because they all just they want to move, they don't want to stay in bot areas.
Exactly. So
I'll fuck them.
I opened a door open and I just sat in the doorway, just like clip, or like just like going through, swap mag, go, swap mag, go. And it was just a point they just kept coming through a door, and it was just body after body after body just stacking. And I was like, okay, something's, and that's why I kept telling you, I was like, something is just not right. Not only that, but like the PMCs that I was killing, like I'm level 1 in ground 0. The PMCs I'm killing are like 12, 20. Things like that. And I was like I got pretty geared off of the first couple extracts because I was just like murdering, picking up what I could, and then just like bailing out. But it was to the point where like it was like actually a struggle to like find one wine, like get to the grenades. Like it was such a weird thing that I was like, I think something is off. Something might be broken. Something might just be a little, it needs some tweaking. But I was struggling. And I'm like, I've been playing Tarkov, so it's not like I'm bad. I'm not great, but I'm not backing to hold my own. I was just getting wiped up left and right on that map. It was a rough couple first few raids. And it was to a point where I even wiped a couple, like wiped the thing because I was just out of stuff. I was like, oh boy, this is like, I'm barely even trugging through this, and I've lost everything. So, all right, let's wrap this up. Happy Monday, everyone. I hope your week goes wonderful. I hope your weekend was a weekend. Hope it's dry. It's been raining the past couple days out here. It's supposed to be clear weather from here on.
It's snowing at my mom's.
Yeah. Oh, your mic just did that thing.
God damn it. I need to get a new mic. I need to get a new headset.
Let's go. Spend some money. You've got a ton saved up. Just spend some money. New mic is what? Get one of these. It's like $200.
Yeah, and then the XLR setup, and then
yeah, and that was I think the Wave XLR was like $100. I will never ever change from this mic. These Shures they're so good. I will never change from this mic. Ever.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye. We're out of here. Bye-bye.